Good morning. We will today begin with the project management activities which are important. Yesterday, the last class, we have gone through the software quality parameters and its associated strategies and all these things we have gone through. Right? Please look into and work on that. Right? Now let's look at the management activities. As a part of that, what we exactly mean by project planning, project scheduling, risk management, okay, then configuration management. Please look into that. All these things are important. You need to work on these aspects, right? So yesterday we have gone through the quality parameters. Now today we will look at the planning, right, scheduling, right, then risk management, and you need to go through the configuration management, okay, selection staff, motivating people, all right, people capability maturity model, right, cost estimation is the most important thing, right, this and project duration, staffing, all it becomes integral part of, okay, your estimation and all, right. So all of you look into that. The most important thing is, for you are doing a mini project, right? So people will ask you, right, are there any risk associated with that? What are the schedules? Do you have any schedule? Okay, what are the milestones you have it in your project? Right? What is the cost of your project? How do you estimate the cost of your mini project? Please look at it. What are the risks associated with your mini project? Please look into that. These are the some of the possible general questions which, if you prepare with whatever we discussed, that will be of great help to you for exam, okay, as well as like your professional career, right? Arpita, is it okay that what is that we are doing?
Yes, sir.
Right, that's it, right? So now let's okay look into uh, today's planning, scheduling, okay, all these aspects, right? Is the PowerPoint presentation the slide is visible to you? Is
Yes,
it
sir.
visible?
Yes, sir.
Right. Now, let's begin. Right. When we talk about the software development process models, we have already seen this particular, okay, diagram saying that we have a product engineering process, process management process. Then we have a within the product engineering process, we have a development process, project management process, software configuration management, and all. Right. Now, in this chapter, what we are looking is this particular aspect, right? So management process, configuration management and all, how do we do it? As far as the development process is concerned, we talk about the waterfall model, right? Then we talk about the incremental iterative model, spiral model, right? Then prototyping. There are many things that we spoke about that, right? And we have a rational, unified process. Please look into that. RUP, this also we have gone through this particular aspect. Now, let's try to focus on this project management and configuration management, these two aspects of product engineering processes, right? So, look at this. When we talk about the management okay, activities, right, we mean actually these things, right? What are those, right? The one is about the proposal writing, right? Planning and scheduling is a very important thing, right? Then project costing. This from even examination point of view, okay, these are important and try to work with your mini project that will help you better. Okay, you can prepare a report also better, right? Then what all the monitoring and reviews will go. Then people management is at another important thing. How do you evaluate people? How do you select okay, staff for a given project and all, right? When people get inside the project and all, right? And report writing and presentation is the most important activity for anything that you do. See, these are the major project management activities, right? Proposal writing, planning, scheduling, cost estimation, monitoring, people management, right? And finally, report writing and presentations. All right, a textbook version. Uh, some things I'll skip, right? Now look at that. When we talk about the project planning, right, here are the set of activities that you can look into. Okay, when you plan a project, for example, you are going for an outing, you wanted to plan how to do it, right? See, you, okay, who all will come, when we can go, how many days we can get into, what all we need to carry, okay, where exactly we have to stay, how much is the cost, right? What is per head cost that you get it? What are the risks associated with that one, right? Maybe health related things, travel related things, water related problems, stay related problems, safety, security, right? All the things you look into. Then how to, what is the mode of transportation, right? Who has to go ahead? Who has to book the things? Who has to purchase eatables and all? See, all these things you plan, okay, as far as the outing, that's also a project, right? So when the same thing you compare with this, here, please look at that, okay, planning activity. Now, what all, now you need to understand this with reference to your mini project. Please remember, okay, please make it a point, right? Study all these things with respect to your mini project, keep it ready. That will help you for writing like a third eye also, right? What I'm going to do is a third question of third IA. It is on project management, right? It could be risk, it could be cost estimation, it could be planning, it could be milestones, right, of your mini project. Study the mini project completely and work on that. So, what are the constraints of your mini project? Establish that, right? Constraint could be in terms of features, in terms of softwares, right? In terms of people, in terms of capabilities, right? In terms of resource, it could be, right? So there are many things, right? Then initial assessment of project parameters, right? Thus, then define a project milestone, right? Milestone in the sense what are you are going to produce, right? You say that when you are making a progress, when you say that and you have made a progress, there is certain milestone. So, for example, you are going to Bangalore, right? When you cross Davangere, you feel that, oh, okay, something, right? Okay, the major contribution, major, okay, travel, right? You have, okay, executed. Travel plan you have executed. So, when you, okay, cross Tumbukur, you feel that, right, you are almost in Bangalore, right? Crossing, okay, Davangere, crossing Tumukur, right? These are the aspects, right? So here also milestones and deliverables. Deliverables are nothing but, okay, the documents, the code, or, okay, manual, whatever that you produce, which is tangible in nature, right? Milestone, right? You say 10 kilometer you have traveled, 50 kilometer you have traveled, yet, okay, half an hour is left, yet 10 kilometer is left and all, whatever that we say, the milestone stands here also. What all you have planned and how much you have completed, right? These aspects, okay, that you need to look into, right? So try to visualize this with respect to your project, mini project, right? That will make sense, right? Then, while project has not been completed, do what that? Drop the project schedule, right? Initiate the activities, right? Wait for some, okay, things to happen. Maybe there may be some kind of dependencies exist. Okay, probably need to work on that. Once that completes one work, then you can get into, right? Then review the project progress. Okay, are we making the right? Okay, are we following the right path? Are we going at the right pace or what? What are the constraints? Right? How much we have fulfilled? Quality aspects and all these things. You can look into that. Okay, sometimes it may so happen that one your estimates could be in terms of people, could be in terms of resources, could be in terms of okay, cost and all, right? That initially whatever you have planned, that may not be an accurate and all, and there may be a need to revise that. And particularly this happened in terms of schedule. So you have planned to complete everything like by Monday, but it may that sometimes maybe on this Sunday evening we take a stock of the progress done, and you may extend that one by Tuesday afternoon. Things will be released, right? So with all by informing it to the customer, you can very well keep on working on that, right? Update the project schedule naturally, right? Renegotiate the project constraint and deliverables. Probably sometimes renegotiate in the sense within a team, with the management, and also sometimes with the right the customers also, because there are people are waiting for the deliverables, right? Deliverables could be, okay, you might have said as a part of an iteration. Okay, please recollect why do you go for iteration incremental model? See, some of the increments, okay, they may be delayed, right? You said that when this increment we delayed for by 1 week, right? But however, other increments, whatever that is there, it goes as per the plan, right? And naturally, if any problem arises, that one, initiate that review on that, right? And involving different connected stakeholders, sometimes customers also, right? Sometimes, okay, unforeseen, okay, situation that you may come across, right? So you have not planned about that, okay? Then in that case, inform the customer and borrow some extended time. Convince that this is what we call, right, negotiation. This is what we call, okay, conducting a meeting, conducting a reviews and all, right, and all these things. So this is the generic approach, right? Generic approach people can get into, right, when we talk about the planning activities. But the true thing is the outcome of this, that is a project planning, with the procedure of doing it, right? Now look at that as a part of the project planning. Okay, many times what we do is we, okay, identify, I mean, why many times? All the times, right? So we identify the task and the dependencies and duration required for that, right? So all those things will become a part of this. See, you identify the task, you name it T1, T2, and find out the durations and all, how much it is required, right? Now look at that T3, it need a 15 days, right? And it depends on, okay, T1. After completing a T1, then only you can complete T3. And after, okay, this T3 produces certain miles, it is a some milestone, right? And every milestone has certain deliverables, important deliverables that you get into. Probably you can say that one, it is the software requirement specification document will be released. That's a milestone. And deliverable is report itself, right? And that is activity of T3, right? And T1, depending on, I mean, it could be the analysis, whatever you, a project analyst, right? Whatever they do, okay, collecting that input requirement, all of the things could be a T1, right? Requirement collection is a T1. T3, right? Okay, T3 activity is simply releasing the conducting meeting with the customers and releasing your software requirement specification, right? This, okay, here that could be one milestone. Similarly, now look at that, identifying the task, different task, whatever it may be. It could be procurement of a software could be a task, right? Establishing the, okay, the resources could be a task, right? Okay, then training program may be a task, or hiring some people may be a task, correct, right? Or importing something from maybe a task, right? Or getting an approval could be a task, right? Are you getting this, right? So meeting with the customer and collecting requirements, that could be a task, right? So task could be anything, right? Collection of all these things make a project, right? Establishing this is the most important thing, and the based on your experience, past experience, you will identify, okay, getting micro level details, how many days that is required, and probably this number of days, total number of days that is required, right? Number of people they are working, and which gets converted into man hours. Man, I'll write it here. Man, when I say man, it's a man, right? Please do not get into argument that why not woman, right? Man, okay, includes both the gender. Okay, if at all you get into dictionary at some other perspective, right? Let's not debate on that. Okay, it is the how many people are involved. Assume that probably 8 people are involved in that, and each one per day they spend 10 hours, right? And totally 10 days is required, right? So that is the total man hours is 8 people into 10 days, right? Into each day is of 10 hours, right? So it is 800 man hours. Look at that, right? How do you arrive at that, right? 8 people, where all they are required, right? They're working for 10 days, right? Where all they work, when they do work, on what all the things they work, right? Then 10 hours per day, okay? On an average, it is 10 hours per day, right? Uh, Probably, okay, thus can constitute 800 hours, man hours. Then what is the cost of per hour? Okay, this cost of per hour, assume that it is say 5,000 rupees, right? Assume that 5,000 rupees, 5,000 rupees into 800, right? Yes. Okay, how much it is, right? This is equal to this much. So it will be 40 lakhs, right? 40 lakhs, that will be a cost. This, for this you are getting adding to all other, the cost of all other cost. Okay, cost to the company, right? It could be electricity, right? It could be rent, it could be the breakfast, right? Or the lunch, dinner, whatever that is being served. It could be tissue papers, it could be water bill, right? It should be electricity bill, right? It could be rent, whatever that you talk. These are all additional housekeeping cost, right? That gets added to this. Then plus the most important thing is on the top of that, I'll change the color here, right? Your plus, okay, this gets added with the profit margin. What will be your profit, right? Without a profit, nobody works, right? So one component is actual, okay, cost to company, right? In terms of the people involved, their salaries and all. Then, okay, cost involved in all housekeeping work, including lunch, dinner, okay, breakfast, tea, coffee, right? Travel, electricity bill, water bill, tissue paper, okay, whatever that you are hiring, all the things, plus, okay, this profit margin, okay, that will be the total project cost, and this needs an experience. Say for example, right, you wanted to sell, you are preparing idli and you are selling. What is the cost per plate of idli? What is the cost of per plate of idli? Right? So you need to look into, okay, raw materials, right, labor charge, right, then resources like okay, electricity or the gas stove, whatever you use, rent which you are paying there, right, then salary which you are giving to laborers and all, right, then what is your profit margin? All those things you add it and that becomes a cost. Arpita, is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Right. So it needs an experience, right? So please work on estimating the cost of your mini project, right? Planning different activities, identifying how much likely it may take, why it is that much, what are dependencies. Please work on the different milestone. Please work on different deliverables. The training material could be deliverables. SRS document could be deliverables. Design document could be deliverables. Right? Test cases, test report could be deliverables. Minutes of the meeting, that could be deliverables. Sometimes code, okay, of this particular module could be deliverables. Right? So technical manual, user manual, right? Okay, these are all deliverables. What you can deliver, right? So please look into that and you can work. And you can draw the chart, something like a graph like this. The oval shape, okay, I mean rectangle here represent the task, oval shape represent the milestones, and try to describe the milestone, right? And try to describe the milestone, and that will give this. There are certain parts which are critical in nature. If you delay that particular thing, okay, on the critical path, right, entire project duration will get extended. The entire duration get extended, right? Are you getting this? Now find out the longest duration path, right? On that, anything you extend, it's all right. Anything you extend, the project get extended, right? Are you getting this? Right? So uh, here you need to identify certain critical path, and if any delay is there in that, okay, whole thing, okay, get extended. Dependencies are very important. Okay, after completing P1, then only P3 begins. Otherwise not. Okay, this kind of dependencies are being shown in this particular chart, and using this chart, okay, you draw the graph, okay, this, where all dependencies and all you can see it, right? Right. Okay, and here you can draw the chart also, and you come to know, okay, when exactly the, okay, particular task begins. Look at that, task T4, T1, T2 begins simultaneously. T1 ends early, T4 get extended, T1 ends early, T2 ends here. Okay, let me point out here. see here, T4, T1 and T2, all they start at this point, same. But if you notice, right, T1 ends here and okay, T4 ends here, T2 ends here, right? And if there is a dependency, T1 and T7, now look at that, okay, now whether it is this or these two things are depend. Now look at that, okay, here, okay, T7 depends on T1, right? T6 depends on T1, T3 depends on T1, right? Right. So what are the things? T3, T6 and T7. Let's get into, right? The same thing is down here. You can look into, right? Right. T3 is dependent on T1, right? Are you getting this? Then, okay, T6 is dependent on this, right? T7 is dependent on this. So T1 is critical, right? Until, so now look at that T1, if there is any delay in this, it will okay, have an impact on T6. You cannot proceed because look at the dependency, right? T9, it depends on T6 and T6 cannot start until T1 and T2 both complete, right? T2, you have a, okay, you have a certain gap is available. You can offer to delay this and all these things. Why? You look at the chart. Look at the chart here, right? You look at the chart. Let me draw that. Let me draw 1 minute. I use a pen here, right? See here, right? What I was talking T1. It's gone. 1 minute. Right? If I delayed okay T1 to some extent, okay, no issues, right? Because to some extent, right? T7, see here, T7 is dependent on T1, T7, okay, T6 dependent on your T1 as well, T6 dependent on your, okay, T7. Got it? T7 is also dependent on T1, right? So, how much you can delay? How much you can delay? See here, T7 is dependent on T1. Okay, now here something you can, right? You can have little offset kept here so that you can begin T1 you have some freedom you can get it so that T7 T1 can be delayed, right? So look at that. You need to plan all these activities and keep a certain buffer days or duration, whatever that is required, so that you have a certain kind of a freedom there. If you are an experienced one, you understand that given activity, how much time that is required to complete. With an experience, your estimation, everything planning based on your experience. Got it? Right? So you can have a little offset time for every task so that if there is any delay in that one, that can be absorbed. Right? If there is no cushioning you planned, then what happens is that one the project will get unnecessarily delayed. Right? If there is no cushioning between the T1 and T7, exactly on the day when it completes, on the day in the evening T7 if it begins, what happens that delay in T1 have an impact on T7. So some kind of questioning is required if there are risks associated with the T1. Then we'll see what are the risks, right? Drawing such chart is an important thing for your project. Please make it a point. Please make it a point. It's very important. Then when we get into risk, now risk are something unforeseen events that have an adverse impact. Look at that, right? It could be anything, right? It could be anything. You wanted a certain software to be, you want to procure something, that software is required on Monday. Now what happens is that if it is not shipped because of the strike and other things, what happens? What is the severity level? Is it so critical? Is it moderately important or something? if the severity is high, if without that software you cannot do anything, and you have to wait until you get it. And COVID-19 or something, if at all people call a bump for 15 days, 1 month and all, you are stuck. Those days, okay, you need to keep quiet without doing anything. That will have an adverse impact on your project. But on the contrary, I can plan in such a way that if I don't receive that one, but yet I can manage with the old version that is available, or my alternate tool free software that is available, I can manage, but not to full extent of that. Right? In that case, that risk is a moderate, okay, in nature. Right? So you having an alternate plan, if that software doesn't come, what we are supposed to do, okay, it is called mitigation plan. Right? Risk identification and risk mitigation are the two important activities. Risk identification is what are the important things, what are likely that, okay, that is going to slip a schedule, make the schedule gets, okay, slipped, right? So which has, okay, impact on cost, schedule, quality, goals, etc. Right? So you need to minimize the chance of failure caused by unplanned events. Are you getting it? Right. Now look at that. Any risk, you need to classify them in the high. What is the probability? These are the three dimensions in which you need to look at every risk. Right? You are purchasing a software. Software is we are supposed to get on Monday, right? And if I don't getting a software, this one is a risk, right? What kind of risk? Is it high, moderate, probability of occurrence low, probability of you getting into that kind of risk, okay, probability of happening, is it high, moderate or low? Okay, if it happens, is the impact of that a negative impact on that, okay, is it high, right, moderate or low, right? Thus that you need to look into. Then mitigation plan, how do you do it, how do you mitigate, how do you overcome that? Right? Are you getting this? Right? So study white papers, look at that, guidelines on whatever that is, okay, issued by statutory bodies, okay, or the management, train team, right? Fine tune, review, checklist you get into, right? Get into, you have your own experience of doing it. Right? Are you getting this? Now few examples, right? Now look at the, right? Look at the manpower, okay, attrition, right? The probability of occurrence medium, impact is medium, right? What are the mitigation plan? Train a core group of 4 people rather than 1, so that even one person leave that one other person you have already in the team with the competency. For example, a skill on using particular software for testing, skill for particular, okay, software on design, right? Got it. Then what you do is, rather than having one person, have a 2 or 3. Probability of all the 3 leaving the company is, right, okay, very, very low. That's why manpower attrition, you can say this medium, that's again your experience. What kind of, right, loyalty that the employees have exhibited, right? You cannot do all these things on paper. They're all real-time examples. No, real-time drive. Got it? Now look at that, another mitigation plan is rotate the assignment among the people. That's what you will see it in the bank also, right? So every month different people will occupy different chair, different activity, so that tomorrow, because of some people applying leave for longer days, many people, right, existing people can do all kind of work. That's what rotate assignments among people, right? Identify the backups for the key roles. I'm talking about the manpower, right? There are many other, risk, okay, complexity of application, unclear requirements. Now look at that. If requirements are unclear, mitigation plan is build a prototype. Build a prototype. It could be throwaway prototype, right? So for example, okay, I don't know how The customer says, I don't know, okay, what is that I need, right? But I want, okay, my office to be automated. What to do is, you develop a GUI, right, as if the entire product is available, but it doesn't do anything, show that, ask him to work. They feed all the input and dummy report is generated, no computation, nothing. And people says that at the time a customer go through the prototype and say, no, I don't want this. I want this to happen in this way. Oh, you have the requirement. So prototypes basically you use throwaway prototype when things are unclear. What is the mitigation plan is building prototype, right? Having a backup for key role, rotating assignment, training the core people rather than one more number of people, right? Are you getting it? Right. Then complex applications, deploying a person with a prior experience with the domain and transferring his knowledge to other team members over a period of time quickly. So you find a mitigation plan, right, by experience, right? Are you getting it? Right? So you can look into, now look at that risk type and description. For example, I'll say management change. Risk type is at the project level. There will be a change of organizational management with different priorities. Priority may change, management may change, your CEO may change, project manager may change, team leader may change, right? That will have an impact on the project. Risk, hardware unavailability. Now that will tell you how a risk can be identified in your mini project. That's the most important thing. This kind of chart and this kind of mitigation plan is very much necessary. Got it? Right? So there are many other things, right? Size underestimate. Project and product both. The size of the system has been underestimated, right? So it will have impact on your profit margin also, right? Specification delays, risk. Specifications of essential interfaces are not available on schedule. Are you getting this? Right? So what all the risk your project has, please go through that. Right? So the management process, risk management process includes risk identification, risk analysis, right? What all the details of that, right? Then how severe is that? Risk planning, you need to plan the particular risk, right? Risk monitoring, risk assessment, right? Now look at that. This is how risk monitoring, then again risk analysis, you get into that. Each one produces certain deliverables. List of potential risk, prioritized risk list, risk avoidance and contingency plans. Right? These are all deliverables of every stage. Okay, rectangle that you see. In that way, see, look at that. Slowly we are preparing for the third internal exams. All of you. When people says technological risk, people risk, organizational risk, tool risk, requirement risk, estimation risk. So any unforeseen situation that may have a negative impact, adverse impact, there's a right word, on your delivery dates, right, or profit margins, customer satisfactions, whatever it is, right? Now examples also, you can refer the textbook, please refer the textbook. Now look at that risk type technology. The database used in the system cannot process as many transactions per second as expected. Technological risk, what should you do? Software component which should be reused contain defects. You are using a library contain a defects. What you can do? Right? People, it is impossible to recruit a staff with the skill required. What you can do? Key staff members are ill and unavailable at critical times. Required training for the staff is not available, right? Risk associated with the people. Are you getting this? Right? So going through all those things is again a common sense. With common sense under this different basket, so you have to look into the word what we are started with, saying that unforeseen events in any basket that have an adverse impact on project's ability to meet the cost, schedule, quality goals. Cost goals, schedule goals, quality goals, whatever that is like. You are unable to do as per the plan, right? Look at that risk. It is impossible to recruit a staff with the skills required for the project. The probability is high or low or moderate. You have to look into it. Right? It will have a catastrophic failures. There will be serious failures. There will be moderately serious. Okay, there will be light. Okay, very light. Okay, impact is on that. So the effect, type, and probability of occurrence that you need to look into. The probability of occurrence is low, right? But yet it can be catastrophic. Look at that. Organizational financial problems forces, right? Reductions in the project budget. Probability is low. If it happens, it will have a catastrophic failures. Got it? Right? So, for example, you are doing a project on IoT and you need 50,000 rupees for sensors, this, that, and all. And people initially agreed. Then next Monday, people come and say that one, your 50,000 budget has been reduced to 5,000 rupees. What you are going to do other than shutting down everything? And that seriousness we call catastrophic failures. Are you getting it? It may happen that reduction is by 10,000 rupees. You can go ahead. It is not catastrophic failure. You can include everything. Okay, maybe few sensors you may not buy, and leaving that particular computational aspect, business aspect, remaining all you develop it. Right? Are you getting it? Where features are unavailable. It's a moderate. It has a moderate effect, and probability could be low, high, or moderate. What is likely that the management withdraw or reduce your budget? Catastrophic, right? So like this, the things given in the book, please go through, right? They say catastrophic, insignificant, tolerable, serious, mild. Okay, it is their experience. Terms used, not necessarily that you should use. You can say that when effect is very serious, moderate, low, that also you can use. So when you write the answer, it is not necessary that what is given in the book is to be reproduced. No, not at all. That's why remember, always my approach is that prepare your own business scenario and then do this and show. For example, in the last few classes, we have seen the testing. So, for example, PAP testing. For example, psychrometric complexity number. Okay, you should prepare your own business scenario and demonstrate or illustrate how a psychrometric complexity number can be used to identify number of test cases for PAP testing. Are you getting it? Right? So you should be in the position to visualize certain scenario of a paragraph and all and apply. Best thing is your mini project. Can you pick a mini project and identify risk and give a mitigation plan? Right? Or can you, given a scenario, right? I'll give one page scenario. You can see the question bank also, right? Somewhere we are given one page description. Given such description, can you identify risk in that? Can you identify risk in that? Can you prepare a project plan for that? Forget about a mini project. Right? Please look into that. Right? Any question here? Any question? Arpita, Ashish, are you in? Don't miss the
Uh,
class.
yes, sir. No questions. No questions in the chat box also.
Right. So my next class will be not on Monday, it will be on Wednesday. Don't miss that. Where I'll be telling about the cost estimation. 23rd, cost estimation. And that is important for third IE, right? And also for the final exam, right? To look at that financial problem risk is there. Prepare a briefing document for senior management showing how project is making a very important contribution to the goals of the business, right? That's the mitigation plan, right? Are you getting this? Briefing meeting, right? With management. So session is getting closed anytime hereafter. Until that it proceeds. We proceed. Staff illness. Recognize the team so that there is more overlap of work and people therefore understand each other's job. If somebody goes on leave, other will take over. That kind of planning you can do on on ground arrangements. Recruitment problem, right? Alert customer of potential difficulties and possibilities of delays. Investigate buying in components. So what strategy you follow? That's very important. So like this, examples have been given as strategy, as a mitigation plan, right? You should identify what all the risk associated with your project and then mitigation plan. For this, there are many things. So tomorrow, on 23rd, we will begin with the people management and cost estimation. Don't miss it. Both are equally important from semester and exam and this. They are very easy. Right? We will see the project management and other things later. Arpita,
Yes, sir.
right? So we are here, right? The risk management, right? We'll talk about the people capability maturity model and cost estimation review. All these highlighted things are essential for third IE. You must prepare. How you estimate the cost of your project or given anything. What are the standard things available? We'd like to review that. People capability maturity model, a theoretical things. What we will do, okay, the configuration management. These three aspects we will do it right on 23rd with extra class in the evening. 23rd, my regular class is there, no? 23rd, Wednesday, Arpita?
Yes, sir.
That regular class and in the evening extra class. Both two classes necessary. And from 26th onwards, your third IA will begin. Third IA contains cost estimation example, right?
Yes, sir.
Project planning, scheduling, and risk related things, and quality parameter. These three plus testing, right? All
Yes, sir.
picture will be there. These two units you have to study, right? Are you clear? These are more common sense rather than bookish related this thing. Got it?
Yes, sir.
And you'll be preparing data flow testing in that available expression we have seen. Procedure call testing, path testing, condition testing, bank testing, right? Statement testing, right? Cause effect graph preparation, boundary value analysis, equivalence partitioning, right? Take one example and then do it in short. This kind of preparation you do it. Question number 1 and 2, mixture of unit 4, unit 5. And again, question number 3 is also mixture of unit 4 and unit 5. You must prepare. And that preparation will help you also for the semester and exam. Clear? Situations will be different. You prepare one example and understand it. Right? So with this, we come to the end of this particular session today. Our next meeting is on Wednesday. 2 classes, right? Regular class and in the evening one more. Evening 7 o'clock. I'll be doing it. Okay. Please keep yourself ready. right? To attend that, right?
Yes, sir.
Right. For this week, I come to the end of my meeting today. Shall I end, Arpita?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Right. I'll update all these videos. Bye.